Going on. So you Geminis have the Star, Queen of Swords, Page of Swords, King of Swords, Hierophant, Chariot, Five of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, the Ten of Wands. So what I'm seeing here for you, Geminis, the Star, the Queen of, oh wow. The Star, the Queen of Swords, the Page of Swords. When you began dating, you wouldn't have necessarily thought that you wasn't really, excuse me, when you began dating, you wasn't really aware of how so many people play games. And now you have a better understanding of that. A lot of you Geminis at least have your eyes open, and you're very much so well prepared. So when anytime someone is running game on you, you can understand even the most subtle of games, even the lightest of games, you know, right? Where like a person, just to share anything light or heavy, you know, oh, okay, this person running games on me. The Star, the Queen of Swords, and the Page of Swords represent, because what's happening here is that a lot of you Geminis understand now, Queen of Swords, Page of Swords, you understand that what it is that you've got going on is a lot of people really don't know how to interact with another person in a healthy fashion. So a lot of you Geminis understand that a little bit better now, just how dysfunctional things can be. And the Page of Swords represents the dysfunctionality of other people, and how in the past, when you didn't know any better, you may have contributed, or you have contributed to that. We all have. We all have. So the King of Swords and the Hierophant is about now how, since this is the case, the King of Swords and the Hierophant is about how you need to understand that what you've got going on is that you're in a time of transformation right now, Gemini. Right now. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the King of Swords is a person that's very much so aware of what's going on, right? Because they're taking a view of their surroundings. You Geminis have a better understanding that, you know, a lot of people want to use you for your body. A lot of you Geminis, you look good. And especially if you're striving to get your stuff together, you know, what'd you say? Anyway, that's my mom. Anyway, point is, trying to get my attention, right? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is that a lot of you Geminis understand this, and because of it, you understand that you Geminis have to essentially know when and where to guard your energy, and that you're not supposed to always be so jovial with every person, right? That's the one thing that you Geminis have to learn. That's the one thing that everybody has to learn. But I'm giving this lesson to you Geminis in particular, is when and where to be friendly with people. Because a lot of times, I'm going to tell you what happens. Because of your jovial nature, you can sometimes misjudge character, or misjudge, I should say more accurately, the situation. And you may think of the situation, you interacting with someone that you may not necessarily know, and being jovial about it, as being safe. You may equate that falsely as being safe, and that's not necessarily the case. Some of you Geminis will be with people, unfortunately, who will end up breaking your heart. Now, the Hierophant now represents, so you have to learn to start listening to that greater understanding, aka yourselves, that instinct, that level of existence where you know when someone is being truthful and they are not. So you have to really pay attention to that. And then you have the Hierophant and the Five of Cups. These two cards here is you need to learn to also question people. Really, you know, some things should be intense. You know, I know the stereotypical Gemini reading would be how a lot of you are very jovial and you like to keep things light. Well, that's a dub, because you're going to have to learn to start asking people some serious questions if you're going to say that you're dating. Because being light and jovial only is reserved to when you're not actually going to be in a relationship with somebody long term. You're really trying to have this as a friends with benefit situation. And if that's the case, if that's what it is that you're going to do, then you Gemini should be honest with yourselves, right? And just anyone who's maybe cross watchers watching this, then that's the situation. But when it comes to getting to know somebody, right, the Chariot, Five of Cups, you right, you are you know what I'm saying? You are right. I was trying to say something else, but you are going to have to get dark and heavy. By that, you have to. You have to. By definition, you have to. Why? How are you going to get to know somebody without asking them some serious questions? Without seeing what they are like when they're tested. And when I say when they're tested, see, this is the thing that a lot of people end up getting it messed up from. You don't need to test the person. You are going to see people who need to test people are people who are not very good at paying attention to a person's what? 10 life values. So they need to manufacture or artificially engineer a particular situation, so the situation, right, will show them who the person is. And it's like, you ain't got to do all that, because we're all in a flux where we have good times, we have bad times. Just pay attention to what happens when it rains for the person. What happens when things go bad for the person? What happens when things go right for the person? Because a lot of time people only pay attention to when some things are going bad for the person, and then they talk about controversy. No, things could be going good for the person too. Pay attention to who they are then too. You know why? To know who they are when the relationship is early. You know why you should do that? You Geminis and just the cross watchers, just people in general, but you Geminis in particular, because I'm teaching it to you, y'all should be doing that, because even when things are good, watch it how it is that the person acts when they're getting their way. Are they excessively brutal? Do they think that they hot stuff, they too good for you now? Now all of a sudden, things start going well for them? Pay attention to those things. This is why I say a million times, there's no need to test a person. If you test a person, you showing and proving up something off with you deliberately. And you could say no, you could say thing, you just showed and proved that there's something off with you. Why? Because you're going to listen. If you hang around me enough, I promise you, and no one is exempt from this. Me, you, no one. There's no exception to this. They are going to be tested. And then you can decide for yourself if I was completely out of pocket, or if I was a person that was able to maintain my value. And you'll see it from the way that I carry myself. You ain't gotta manufacture an issue. When a person come home, you start arguing with them, that's a dub. That's a person that's a dub, because that's whack. That is played out. But just all you need to do, Gemini, you ain't got to do all that. Just ask the person what's going on and just pay attention to their answers and pay attention to their actions afterwards. And that's how you make the decision. There's no need to test. Listen, I've never tested any of the people that I was trying to get to know. But how is it that I was still able to find out who they were and their overall value? Just paying attention to them. You claim to be this, you act like you're this, but then your words, you're saying this with your words, but then your actions is not that way. I'm coming over to your place, and we just kicking it in your place. You know what I'm saying? And I'm feeling out your place, and all you have is water in the refrigerator, beer, and all this other type of stuff. That's it. Shelves are clean. The shelves have no food on them. They're not packed away neatly to the ones who do. But for the most part, the shelves have nothing on them. Except for maybe like water and beer. I'm hanging out with you and you talking about, oh, I need to spend money on you. Why? Why can't we do something that we both enjoy that happens to be free? The idea is to get to know me. Because if it's about the food, then just say that it's about the food. You want me to pay for your food because you need a daddy. Because the idea is for you to get to know me. It's not for you to bum some free wings or bum some free Chinese, because I like Chinese food, but bum some free Chinese food. But I thought you said that pizza was one of your favorite takeout foods. It is. But right up there with it is Chinese food as well. I know what I said. So the thing about it is that the Seven of Pentacles represents, and don't you allow anybody to give you manufactured answers too. And what I mean when I say manufactured answers, Gemini, I mean answers that are just excuses. They're not really hitting on anything. They're not actually directly dealing with the particular question. They're not directly answering the question. They're answering your question with another. Yeah, all of that is a dub. Continue to chip away at this person and tell them directly, answer the question. I'm asking you a question. You didn't answer the question. You know why? Because we're getting into another layer of the games now. I told you it comes in layers. Because this is another way that people run game on other people. They say ambiguous, meaning mysterious, convoluted, aka obscure or unclear things, and they get you to jump to your own conclusions, aka assumptions, because they're not even trying to give you any kind of clarification on that. So get the person to clarify, what exactly are you saying? Say something to me that makes sense. Stop it with the double talk. Stop it with the double on top. Put it like this. Treat me like I am a person that knows nothing. If I can't understand it, that's a whole dub. Stop trying to make things seem convoluted than what more it actually is. Simplify it for me. And if they can't simplify it for you, Gemini, that's how you know anyone that you're dating right now, because I'm sure some of you probably are dating somebody or trying to at very least get to know somebody right now, just in the beginning stages of it. That's how you know the person is a whole dub walking. That's a dub. You can't hang out with them, because that's a person that's trying to mystify and make things seem more mystical with their words, as opposed to showing you, look, this is what it is that you get and this is who I am. If you like me, great, let's build on this. If you don't, then it is what it is. I'll just respectfully move on down the road. No, they want to convolute it. The Nine of Swords and the Ten of Wands represents, and yes, Gemini, you will have to walk away from a lot of people. Because one of the things that people used to say about me years before I even got to YouTube, right? I should say, years before I even got to YouTube is, why is it that you just can't seem to hold down anybody? Can't hold down anybody because of the sheer numbers of how so many people can't directly ask a question. And asking the question isn't going to aggravate me. It's not going to annoy me. We're going to clear the situation up, clear the air, so that you can be happy. I'm going to be happy. You're going to enjoy. I'm going to enjoy the time hanging out with you, vice versa. Why is it that people are so scared to simply just ask the question? You know why? Because they're double-minded. They're double talking, double entendres, bad faith. And what I mean when I say a bad faith, I don't necessarily mean like belief or none of that. I mean like from the perspective of they need to They need to have, they're nihilists. They need to have an answer through subjugation. What it looks like when these people try to run game on you and put you in a bad position to have you to see if you're a good individual or not. Not even realizing that that's the worst thing, Gemini, that they could ever do, because then that makes them the enemy, which is what they didn't even have to do. They didn't even have to make themselves the enemy. But they've done it while at the same time trying to do what? Date you. This is the goofy stuff that a lot of people got going on. So you can't take this type of stuff personally. The realer you become is the less people come to find out you're going to be able to hang out with. That's just how it is. That's honestly just how it is. Because the more real I became, the more real I became is the more cantankerous it made it myself look. It made my, the realer I became is the more that it looked like I couldn't get along with anybody. Let's clarify the Ten of Wands. So people would be looking like, well, why is it that you can't seem to get along with anybody? Because this person, number one, is selling themselves. Then when I began to open up my mouth and say what it is, this person is selling themselves. They expect me to pay cash. They want me to Cashapp them. They're like, then people with all of this issues that they thought that I had, then they started to really realize like, oh, okay, well, what about this one? Yeah, this person is hard to be with that person because this person is going to give me a runaround. It's an obstacle course to get close to them. Because this is what they did. This is what happened. And then now it's, oh, I get it now. So now it's like, so now is that, am I really dysfunctional where I'm just the worst person in the world? Or is it that people are too dysfunctional and they really don't want to be any better? Really? I'm not talking about the extras. I'm talking about solidarity. They don't want to do that. So to clarify the Ten of Wands, here we go. To clarify the Ten of Wands, you have the Three of Cups, the World, the Two of Cups, okay, and the Six of Wands, right? So you want to make sure that you Gemini search high and low. And you want to make sure that a lot of you Geminis have a better understanding of what it looks like when someone is real and what it looks like when someone is fake. Because they all show up the same way. The people who are fake all show up the same way. They act like they're doing, I've said this before, they act like they're doing something different and they got the special sauce, not even realizing that they all play on the 101 games. The only nuance is the name, the physical attributes of the particular person that you're talking to, and what games out of the 101 they're actually implementing that's their signature, that they resonate with the most and they understand the most. That's it. Just a little handful of games that they play. But other than that, you Geminis are on point. You Geminis know when people from now on are running games. And now y'all are going to know even better when people are running games thanks to this. But a lot of you Geminis are going to understand that those types of people can't be trusted. So continue to move forward, continue to date, be aware, and report back here so you can know what's going on with you, right? So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to make my YouTube channel grow to 10,000 subscribers by the end of June. As of right now, 6,683 subscribers. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set that notification bell to all.